It's like Lenin said. You look for the person who will benefit, and
I am the walrus.
well, you know what I'm trying to say.
I am the walrus.
That fucking bitch.
Oh yeah.
I am the walrus.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie. V.I. Lenin. Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov. I mean, say what you want about the tenets of National Socialism, dude. At least it's an ethos.
Yeah.
This is the first time I heard the very last bit, Hayes. God damn it. Oh. Hi. Hello. I'm the host today. I'm Sal. Welcome in. We're going to be going over a presentation that I made on a letter to a comrade on our organizational tasks by Lenin. Hello, Von Wall. Hello, everyone. Satrin, Supernova, Ordog, Dorian Sapiens, Socialicy, Futuristocracy. Hello, hello. Is the sound okay? Am I like really loud or really quiet? It's usually one of those. What we got today? Sounds good. Nice. Cool, cool. That will never happen again, so don't get used to it. Okay. I made like a little presentation. It's not really that long either. We're going to read the whole thing. It's kind of like OPSEC, you know? But I really thought it was interesting. Let's see. What should we listen to? Lo-fi? There it is. Just a little bit. Okay. I should probably tweet that we're live. Okay, I'll do that really quick. And then we're gonna get started. This is, if you haven't read Theory before, you can go tell your friends after you listen to me do this, that you are a theory reading nerd now, okay? I don't know why you would tell your friends that. You might lose friends for that, so maybe just keep it to yourself. I don't know. I crack myself up. Comrade dog gets a treat every time the anthem is played, surely. Ezio's actually on a diet. The vet said that he is too thick. My bee. He's just so happy. Hello, bud. Okay. Yes, he's fat and happy, but his doctor is not pleased. He is pretty cute, huh? You're pretty cute. You know, he's like 10. He's very old, but he doesn't act old. Oh my god, he's gonna knock my chair over. Fat corgi. Oh no, look at this. I hate this. You can see, I have to fix this. What is happening? This is terrible. Oh no, this is gonna drive me crazy. Nope, that's not great. Okay, I gotta fix that, but not right now because that's like a whole edit I have to do. Oh my god, that is literally going to drive me insane. Do you see that little top of the corner sticking out? Why would I do that? Why would I do something like that? I don't know. Okay. Dear comrades. It says comrade, but I'm going to say comrades. I don't know if you know what Rapace de Leo is, and I'm probably butchering the shit out of how you say that, but that's gonna come up. And if you don't know what it is, it's like a paper that he does not like. He hates it. You'll find out. It is with pleasure that I accede to your request for a criticism of your draft for the organization of the St. Petersburg Revolutionary Party. Most likely you meant the organization of the working Russian, or of the work of the Russian Social Democratic Labor Party in St. Petersburg. The question you have raised is so important that all members of St. Petersburg Committee and even all Russian Social Democrats in general should take part in this discussion. First of all, let me express my complete agreement with your explanation of the unsuitableness of the former League type, as you termed it, organization of the League. You refer to the lack of serious training and revolutionary education among the progressive workers and the so-called elective system, with which Rapace de Leo supporters are championing so proudly. The stubborn and stubbornly on the ground of democratic principles and the workers' alienation from active work. That precisely is the case. The lack of serious training and revolutionary education, not only among the workers, but among the intellectuals as well. The misplaced and immoderate application of the elective principles, and the workers' alienation from active revolutionary work. That is where the main shortcomings of the St. Petersburg organization and of many other local organizations of our party really lies. So, lack of serious training, lack of revolutionary education among workers and intellectuals, misplaced and immoderate application of the elective principle, and workers' alienation from active revolutionary works. So he's saying that they're not educated enough, okay? And they're not doing the right thing. They're not like doing praxis or education, you know? Which is, I don't know if you know this, but it's something we see a lot, especially lately, being like championed, you know, on Twitter. They're like, my life's history is such that I don't need any theory. Well, your life history is so valuable, you know, but you are not, you know, learning is good. You don't know everything. I'm sorry. We don't know everything. I know it's like really hard for some people to understand, but like you just don't. Yeah, you never will. We just got to keep going. Yeah, we just started. What up, Sarah? Hello, V in Africa. No, I know everything. Shut up. Yeah. You know, it's so fucking silly that we're like even like we have the same discussion every month. Like every month people are like, ew, theory's disgusting. We don't need that. But like we do. We all need that. Lenin lives, it's, hold on. Lenin lived, Lenin lives, Lenin will live forever. That's what it is. They are so embarrassing. It's like, bro. You're like, I care about this movement, but I'm not gonna do jack shit for it. I'm cool. I don't know what that is. Wait, did I say that? Did you hear me say that? Or dog? Oh, AOC's damn dress. Yeah, sorry, I greatly contributed to that because I liked making memes on her butt. Sorry. Like, how do they not see themselves making sweeping statements about revolution or economics when they actively refuse to learn? Yeah, it's fucking silly. Sarah said the other day, she said, oh, I got sick once. I guess I can be a doctor now. Like, that's like the equivalent of that, truly. Sarah said that, and then I stole it, and then I posted that, so. Hey. Tankies. Bunch of fucking nerd tankies. They also more likely to believe in spontaneity. Oh, of course they do. Of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah. They're gonna be like this one dude in that freaking ANCOM. I don't know if you guys remember that 1968, the presentation I did, but that guy, when they took over the college in Paris, he was like, "This is it. This is the revolution," and like, no, it wasn't. Vanguardism is bad. It's just so silly. I mean, they're going off like the knowledge that they have that the propagandized anti-communists gave them, right? So everything Stalin is bad, the USSR is bad, you know, and they don't question that narrative to break free of it. Haha, fucking Chaz, bro. They just don't feel the need to, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's fucking pride and hubris, which if they read Mao, they would know that is not what revolutionaries do. And some people are like, well, they always give credit to Marx or whatever. Like, first of all, communism doesn't work that way. We don't, like, nobody is taking credit. Like, somebody's like, I don't know. I just can't. Support a, no, fucking V. USSR to Chaz. People just want to keep doing what they want, but also feel justified about it. Right. Right, that's really what it is. It's like they just don't want to do it. Okay, that's fine, but don't tell others not to do it. Like, what is the fucking deal? Okay, so I fully share your basic view on the organizational tasks and also subscribe to your organizational plan, so far as I understand its general outline from your letter. Specifically, I wholly agree with you that the special stress should be laid on the tasks connected with the work on an all Russian scale, and with the work of the party as a whole. In your draft, this is expressed in Clause 1, which reads, the newspaper Iskra, which has permanent correspondence among the workers and close contact with the work within the organization, is the leading center of the party, and not only of a committee or a district, right? So this paper is the one that sends out the information that, like, is kind of the party line, right? You follow what this paper says if you are in the party. I should merely like to remark that the newspaper can and should be the ideological leader of the party, evolving theoretical truths, tactical principles, general organizational ideas, and the general task of the whole party at any given moment. But only a special center or central group, let us call it the Central Committee, which, hold the fuck on. Is that what Mike from PAs calls his thing? Hold on. I think that is what he calls it. Oh, fuck, he does. He does call it that. Cringe! Son of a bitch. So, yeah, Mike from PA calls his channel the Central Committee. Yikes. That is just a random tangent. So sorry. Okay. Damn, this is bright as hell. Mike from PA. I know. Kind of hilarious that he thinks of himself that way, but whatever. I followed him because I wanted to be like notified when he was being stupid online, and then he followed me back. I wish you could like let people know like that it's a hate follow. Like, I actually don't like you. I'm keeping tabs on you, buddy. Okay. Where are we at? Sarah. Okay, so let us call it the Central Committee. This central group can be the direct, practical leader of the movement, maintaining personal connections with all the committees, embracing all the best revolutionary forces among the Russian Social Democrats, and managing all the general affairs of the party, such as the distribution of literature, the issuing of leaflets, the allocation of forces, the appointment of individuals and groups to take charge of special undertakings. The preparation of demonstrations, and an uprising on an all-Russian scale, etc. Since the strictest secrecy of organizations and preservations of continuity of the movement is essential, our party can and should have two leading centers, a central organ and a central committee. The former should be responsible for ideological leadership, and the latter for direct and practical leadership. Oh shit. I didn't make a lot of slides for this one because it's kind of short. But apparently I made all the slides for the beginning of the thing. He wrote this letter September 1902. Hello, Choice. Welcome in. So he wrote it before, obviously. The former should be responsible for ideological leadership, and the latter for direct and practical leadership. Unity of action and the necessary solidarity between these groups should be ensured, not only by a single party program, but also by the composition of the two groups. Both groups, the CO and the CC, should be made up of people who are in complete harmony with one another. So you guys got a vibe, sweaty? And by the institution of regular and systematic joint conferences. Only then will the CO, on the one hand, be placed beyond reach of the Russian, I don't know what the fuck this is. What word is this?
Gendarme.
Gendarme. I would have never pronounced that correctly. A gendarme is the armed police in France. Okay, so the gendarme is the police. The Russian police, an assured, oh wait, yeah, the Russian gendarme. I think it's a French word for the police. That makes sense. I am merely vibing here. How about you? Nice, nice. Vibes, vibes.
That's kind of crap. I want to do that again.
Nice. And assured the consistency and continuity, while on the other hand, the CC will always be at one with the CO on all essential matters and have sufficient freedom to take direct charge of all the practical aspects of the movement. For this reason, it would be desirable that Clause 1 of the rules, according to your draft, should not only indicate which party organ is recognized as the leading organ, that is, of course, that of course is necessary, but it should also state that the given local organization sets itself the task of working actively for the creation, support, and consolidation of those central institutions without which our party cannot exist as a party. Further, damn, I'm so behind on my freaking slides. Further, in Clause 2, you say that the committee should direct the local organization. Perhaps it would be better to say all local work and all the local organization of the party. But I shall not dwell on the details of formulation. I love it. And that is... and that it should consist of both workers and intellectuals, for to divide them into two committees is harmful. This is absolutely indubitably correct. There should be only one committee of Russian Social Democratic Labor Party, and it should consist of fully convinced Social Democrats who devote themselves entirely to the social democratic activities. We should particularly see to it that as many workers as possible become fully class conscious and professional revolutionaries and members of the committee. Once there is a single and not a dual committee, the matter of the committee members personally knowing many workers is of particular importance. So you have to know the workers. It's saying like the intellectuals or the vanguard or whatever has to have like positive relationships with the workers, like fucking duh, you know? We can't just sit here and talk about workers, you know, like in factory workers and not know any in our area. So that's like something important to think about. Yeah, no quiche. Yeah, the party's newspaper, the newspaper itself is the one who like sends out like what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be following, like you know, this is how we do this, etc. You know, like just like making sure we're all consistent on the same page. Try not to ban everyone I see. We don't really have any. We haven't had any trolls today. Am I in the politics section? Yeah, it sends out what is to be done. There you go, Meryl. No trolls yet. How sweet. Okay. In order to take the lead in whatever goes in the workers' midst, it is necessary to be able to have all or access to all quarters, to know very many workers, and to have all sorts of channels open. So you have to be like, you have to know people. You have to go out and know the people. It sounds obvious, but I don't know if many people are doing that. The committee should therefore include, as far as possible, all the principal leaders of the working class movement from among the workers themselves. It should direct all aspects of the local movement and take charge of all local institutions, forces, and means of the party. You do not say how the committee should be set up most likely. Here too we shall agree with you that it is scarcely necessary to have special regulations about this. How to set up a committee is a matter for the Social Democrats on the spot to decide. Right, so like he's not going to tell you how you form your own group, just kind of giving you like these guidelines. But he's like, every group is going to be different. Do your own thing. I don't fucking care. Just do it. However, it should be perhaps pointed out that the new members should be added to the committee by decision of a majority or 2/3, etc., of its members, and that the committee should see to it that the list of contact is placed in the hands that are reliable from the revolutionary standpoint and safe in the political sense, and that it prepares candidate members in advance. Right? So now he's talking about secrecy and like kind of OPSEC and like what's needed to keep our people safe, or the people in the committee safe. When we have the CO and the new committee should be set, and the new committee should be set up only with their cooperation and their consent. As far as possible, the committee should not have very members, so that they consist of well-educated people and well-versed in the technique of his particular branch of revolutionary activity. But at the same time, they should include a sufficient number to take charge of all aspects of the work and ensure a full representation and binding decisions. Should it happen that the number of members is fairly large and that it is hazardous for them to meet up frequently, it might then become necessary to select from the committee a special and very small executive group consisting of, say, 5 or even fewer persons, which should without fail include the secretary and the most capable of giving practical guidance to the work as a whole. It is particularly important that candidate members be provided for this group so that the work should not have to stop in case of arrest. Right? So now he's thinking about how do we continue our shit, like if we're arrested. So that's how this is set up organizational wise, like that if one piece is taken, that it doesn't like hinder the entire movement. The activities of the executive group, its members, etc., should be subject to approval by a general meeting of the committee. Further, alter the committee. You propose the following institutions under it: a discussion meeting, conferences of the best revolutionaries, district circles with 3 propagandist circles attached to each of these, factory circles, and meetings of representatives of delegates from from the factory circles of a given district. I fully agree with you that all further institutions, and of these, there should be very many and extremely diversified ones, besides those you mentioned, should be subordinated to the committee, and that it is necessary to have district groups for the very big cities and factory groups always and everywhere. But I do not agree with you, it seems, with several details. For instance, with regards to discussion meetings, I think that these are wholly unnecessary. The best revolutionaries should all be on the committee or engaged in special work, printing, transportation, agitational tours, the organization, say, of passport bureaus. Hey, thanks for following. Of passport bureaus or of combat squads to deal with spies and agent provocateurs, or of groups in the army, or etc. Conference will be held in the committee and in each district, in each factory, propagandists, trade, weavers, mechanics, tanners, students, literary, etc. circles. So you're going to have your conferences within your own circle. Why should the conferences be made a special institution? Right, so he's saying that you don't really need that. You don't care about that. The lack of monarchists is boring. I'm so sorry. Further, you quite justifiably demand that the opportunity to write Iskra directly should be given to everyone who wants it. Only directly should not be understood to mean that everyone who wants it should be given access to the editorial office or its address, but that it should be obligatory to hand over or forward to the editors letters from all who desire. Right? So he's saying, like, we're not just going to send any schmo to the place, but, like, they can send us the writing. The address should, of course, be made known to a fairly wide circle. However, they should not be given to everyone who wants them, because only revolutionaries who are reliable and known for their ability to observe the conditions of secrecy, perhaps not even one person in each district, as you suggest, but to several, is also necessary to all who want to take part in our work. Each and every circle should have the right to bring their decisions, their desires, requests to attention of the committee, as well as of the CO and the CC. If we ensure this, then all conferences of the parties functionaries will have the benefit of the full information without instituting anything so cumbersome and contrary to the rules of secrecy as discussion meetings. Right? So it's saying if you have any questions, if you have a concern, you're not really sure, you do have a way to talk to the Central Committee and the CO to, because this is democratic while also maintaining safety. Nice, Sachin. Of course, we should also endeavor to arrange personal conferences of the greatest possible number of all and sundry functionaries. But then here, everything hinges on the observance of secrecy. General meetings and gatherings are possible in Russia only rarely, and by way of exception. And it is necessary to be doubly wary about allowing the best revolutionaries to attend these meetings, since it's easier in general for agent provocateurs to get into them and for spies to trail some participant of the meeting. I think that perhaps it would be better to do as follows. When it is possible to organize a big, say, 30 to 100 people general meeting, for instance, in the summertime in the woods or in a secret apartment that has been specially secured for this purpose, the committee should send one or two of the best revolutionaries and make sure that the meeting is attended by the proper people, i.e., for example, that invitation should be extended to as many as possible of the reliable members of the factory circles. But these meetings should not officially go on the record. They should not be put into the rules or held regularly. Matters should not be arranged in such a way that everyone who attends the meeting knows everyone else there, knows that everyone is a representative of a circle. That is why I'm opposed not only to discussion meetings, but also to meetings of representatives. Time Lord Faust, hello. In the place of these two institutions, I would propose a rule to the following effect. The committee must see to the organization of big meetings as of many people, or as of many people as possible, who are practical participants in the movement and all of the workers in general. The time, place, and occasion for these meetings and its composition are to be determined by the committee, which is responsible for the secret arrangement of such affairs. It is self-evident that the organization of the workers' gatherings of a less formal character of outing, like in the woods, is no way restricted by this. Perhaps it would be even better not to say anything about this in the rules. Further, as regards to district groups, I fully agree with you that it is one of their most important tasks to organize the distribution of literature properly. I think that the district groups should, for the main part, act as intermediaries between the committees and the factories, intermediaries and mostly couriers, or even mostly couriers. So, I guess if you know any male people, that would be great, because this is talking about the distribution of information, which I guess could be done by phone now. I guess we can just text them. Burner phones, let's go. Is everyone awake? Are you awake? Are you awake? I thought this was really interesting. They're doing a fucking OPSEC thing right now. No distributed by newspaper like Trotsky. Hey. Newspaper is a good way for a few reasons. Oh, you don't like my fucking accent, Sarah? Oi. In it? Alright, I'll stop. I might be able to stop. It was kind of fun though. She don't like my fucking accent. Alright, I'm losing the accent. It's not about turning a profit on the paper, it's about the person-to-person contact selling it creates. Okay. You're right. Found the trot. Plus, people are more likely to read something they paid for. That's true. Stuff a yarble in your gob, governor. Stuff a yarble in your gob. I can't even do that one. I lost the accent. Yeah, I'm a trot. Nice. I don't think having a newspaper is like what makes you a trot, right? Like, easy, Merle. Okay, where am I at? Their chief task should be the proper distribution of the literature received from the committee in accordance with the rules of secrecy. This is an extremely important task, for if we secure regular contacts between special district groups and distributors and all the factories in that district, as well as the largest possible number of workers' homes in that district, it will be of enormous value for both for demonstrations and for an uprising. Arranging for and organizing the speedy and proper delivery of literature, leaflets, proclamations, etc. Training of network agents for this purpose means performing the greater parts of the work of preparing for the future demonstrations or an uprising. It is too late to start organizing the distribution of literature at this time, at a time of unrest, a strike, or turmoil, right? So it's saying that you need to have these things in place before that happens. This work can be built up only gradually by making distributions obligatory twice or 3 times a month. If no newspaper are available, leaflets may and should be distributed, but the distributive machine must in no case be allowed to remain idle. This machine should be brought to such a degree of perfection as to make it possible to inform and mobilize, so to speak, the whole working class population of St. Petersburg overnight. That's what we need to be like ready to, like, that's what we have to do. Like, that's a huge task. Where the fuck am I? I lost my place. Oh, there it is. Okay. Nor is this by any means a utopian aim, provided there is a systematic transmission of leaflets from the center of the narrow intermediary cities from them down to the distributors. In my opinion, the functions of the district group should not be extended beyond the bounds of purely intermediary and transmission work, or to put it more accurately, they should be extended only with the utmost caution. Otherwise, this can only increase the risk of discovery and be injurious to the integrity of the work. Of course, conferences to discuss all party questions will take place in the district circles as well, but decisions on general questions of the local movement should be made only by the committee. The district group should be permitted to act independently only on questions concerning the technical aspect of transmission of distribution. The composition of the group should be determined by the committee, i.e. the committee appoints 1 or 2 of its members or even comrades who are not in the committee as delegates to this or that district and instruct them to establish a district group, all the members of which are likewise installed in office, so to speak, by the committee. The district group is a branch of the committee deriving its powers only from the latter. So it gets its group or its power from the the committee. In one of the memes with the trots due to their love of newspaper. Oh, it's one of the memes. Yeah, I know that it's a meme, but like, newspapers aren't bad, folks. You can read a newspaper without being a trot. It must be very boring today. I now pass on to the question of propagandist circles. Or onto the question of propaganda circles. It is hardly possible to organize such circles separately in every district owing to the scarcity of our propagandist forces, and it is hardly desirable. Propaganda must be carried on in the same spirit by the whole committee, and it should be strictly centralized. My idea of the matter is therefore as follows. The committee instructs several of its members to organize a group of propagandists, which will be a branch of the committee or one of the institutions of the committee. This group, using for the sake of secrecy the services of the district groups, should conduct propaganda throughout the town and in all localities within the jurisdiction of the committee. Right. That's pretty straightforward. I am drinking vodka and soda. Yep. What are you drinking? Sounds awful. I hope you enjoy it. It tastes just like soda, so I do like it. Tasty. Oh, I can hardly taste it. I just taste soda. What, Sarah? Don't you freaking judge me. Excuse you, I'm vibing. Now I've lost my place. Okay. So it's hardly possible to organize such circles separately in every district owing to the scarcity of our propagandist forces, and it's hardly desirable. Propaganda must be carried on in the same spirit. Oh, I fucking read that already. This group, using for the sake of secrecy the services of the district group, which should conduct propaganda throughout the town and in all the localities within the jurisdiction of the committee. If necessary, this group may set up subgroups and, so to say, entrust the circle of its function to the latter. But all this can be done with the sanction of the committee, which must always and unconditionally possess the right of detailing its delegates to any subgroup or group or circle which is connected with the movement in any way. Did not care for it. I have Coke and I have vodka, so I mixed it with vodka. Plus, vodka has like the least amount of calories. You'd be surprised, like, how much calories rum has. That's too much. Like, I'm trying, or is it carbs? Either way, it's not great for you. More of a tequila woman. Nice. I like tequila, but I have to have lime and salt. And that's for like shots, because I've never had tequila and like anything besides a margarita. Wait, tequila goes in a margarita, right? I think so. Thought you would think vodka would be more likely to mix. I'm not on a diet, bruv. Yeah, me neither, but like, I don't know. I just have always done that. I'm weird. Shut up. God damn, you guys judge me so hard. You should try vodka soda. It's delicious. I'm just trying to get lit here while fucking reading this boring ass shit, you know? That's hilarious. Just for the first time to pass you the bottle. Woo! When I drink whiskey on the rocks, I drink like honey whiskey, which is so good. So good. I've not been mixing lately, just going straight from the bottle. Ugh. Ugh. I can't do it. I have to. I'm like such a P word when it comes to like chasers and like mixers. Like I cannot do straight unless it's like the honey whiskey. I'm just not able to do it. It's so gross. I had some the other day. It's good. You know, I saw everyone drinking this White Claw, right? And I was like, I want to be cool. I want to drink the White Claw. And let me tell you, I don't know how you fuckers do it. It tastes like shit. It tastes like dog shit. I'm like, obviously, I don't know. Like, it's not. And even if you put like lime in it, it's terrible. It actually makes it worse with real lime. Shouldn't do that. Had to get close for that one. That was serious. Just have to get drunk first, then I can do it straight. Honey is always good. Tastes like the gentle essence of shit and gets white girls drunk for 100 calories. Yeah. I don't know. I prefer, like those limeritas, but those things, those are not diet drinks. Those are not diet drinks. Those things will make you big. We should all just drink absinthe, I think. True. But it has to be like the old-timey way where it's like on a spoonful of sugar, like dripping down. You know? Do you know what I'm talking about? How they normally do absinthe? I'm going to show you. Here it is. So there's this like speakeasy, this like secret speakeasy thing near my house, and they serve this there.
Today we're with Maxwell Britton, head bartender at Maison Premier, and we're going to be talking about old school cocktails.
An absinthe drip would be 1 part absinthe to 4 to 5 parts water. We're gonna grab an absinthe glass. This is called the Poncellier glass, typically known to be used for absinthe drips. If you don't have one of these at home, you can go with a wine glass. You can go with a Pilsner glass, whatever works. We like to keep ours nice and chilled because the point is, of course, to make sure the drink is nice and cold. Absinthe is an all-natural spirit and it is at a very high proof. A lot of people make the mistake of drinking absinthe by itself, which is one reason why it might not be as popular as it used to be. The traditional way would be to add a little bit of sugar and 4 to 5 parts chilled water. That way it's really going to open up and blossom some of those extracted natural flavors that you're going to find inside of the glass. So now we're going to be using our absinthe fountain to add that 4 to 5 parts chilled water. This is an absinthe spoon. It's basically slotted and it rests neatly right over the top of the glass. We're going to add a single sugar cube, and what you want is for your water to slowly drip over your sugar cube to help it dissolve.
If people don't have the drip at home, what can they do?
So yeah, most people won't have a drip at home. The next easiest thing for you to do is make some rich simple syrup, 2 parts sugar, 1 part water. So we're almost done here. All right, so traditional absinthe service style. You'll find this in a lot of Persian cafes even today. But at home, if you just have a couple of coffee saucers, that'll work just as well. A doily is always a nice touch.
This one also, I can smell it from here. It smells
Yeah.
great. Yeah, it's refreshing.
It is. No, this is something that you want to drink at home if you're having guests over, maybe in a summer afternoon. In
Yeah,
France, 6 o'clock was a time where everybody would be drinking absinthe.
How can people at home really screw
Everyone's
this up?
drunk
And
as fuck by
here is where you
6
get the
o'clock.
professional drink,
Well-
a professional tip.
For real.
Professional
when
tip
are
would
we
be
going?
do your homework and find a good absinthe.
Yes.
Maxwell, thank you so much.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, so I have had absinthe like that, and it was quite tasty. Quite tasty. The dolly is always a nice touch. Why not, like, just froof it up a little bit to make it cute? I had home distilled absinthe at the commune once. It was fun. That would be cool. I went to Paris once. It was nice there when I went. Okay. Bougie sa. Yeah. Seriously. Actually, I was living like in Germany on an army base, so it was like not really that bougie, but it was fun. I got to pretend like, you know, actually I didn't even pretend. I did it. Like I did the traveling stuff. I didn't pretend I was a traveler. I did the traveling stuff. Wow. It's crazy. Hello, Typo. Welcome in. We are halfway through a presentation on a letter to a comrade on organizational tasks, and we took a break to talk about drinking. Living on the dime of a military-industrial complex. Yes, I was doing that. Actually, I wasn't because... Well, actually I was, because I worked at the Child Development Center on base. So I guess they were, yeah. Thanks, military-industrial complex. Okay. So, the same pattern of organization, the same type of branches of the committees or of these institutions should be adopted for all various groups serving the movement. Students groups, or in higher or secondary schools groups, let us say, of supporters among government officials. we don't have that. Transport, printing, and passport groups for arranging secret meeting places, groups whose job it is to track down spies, groups among the military, groups for supplying arms, groups for the organization of financial profitable enterprise, for example. The whole art of running a secret organization should consist of making use of everything possible and giving everyone something to do at the same time, retaining leadership of the whole movement. Not by virtue of having the power, of course, but by virtue of authority and energy and greater experience, greater versatility, and greater talent. This remark is made to meet the possible and usual objection that strict centralization may all too easily ruin the movement if the center happens to include an incapable person invested with tremendous power. This is, of course, possible, but it cannot be obviated by the elective principles and decentralization, the application of which is absolutely impermissible to any wide degree and even altogether detrimental to revolutionary work on an autocracy, or under an autocracy. Nor can any rules provide means to this, Such means can be provided only by the measure of comradely influence, beginning with the resolutions of each and every subgroup, followed up by their appeal of the CO and the CC, and ending, if the worst comes to worst, with the removal of that person in authority who is greatly incapable. The committee should endeavor to achieve the greatest possible division of labor, bearing in mind that the various aspects of revolutionary work require various abilities, and that sometimes the person who is absolutely useless as an organizer may be invaluable as an agitator, right? So it's saying, like, if somebody sucks at something, don't like kick them out, just like find them a new job, because maybe they don't suck at this other thing. Or that person is not good at strictly secret work and may be an excellent propagandist. Incidentally, while on the subject of propagandists, I should like to say a few words of criticism on the usual practices of overloading this profession with incapable people and thus lowering the level of propaganda. It is sometimes the habit among us to regard every student as a propagandist without discrimination, and every youngster demands that he should be given a circle. This must be countered because it does a great deal of harm. There are very few propagandists whose principles are invariably consistent and who are really capable, and to become such a one must put in a lot of study and a mass of experience, right? So propagandists aren't just like Joe Schmoes. These are people who are well studied. So again, the importance of study comes up. These are not jobs given to people who are anti-intellectuals, right? These are jobs given to people who know and value the importance of being learned and studied in the form, right? Can't be a proper propagandist without reading material and knowing the people as well. It takes study and application. Yeah, I'm very sus, Mero. Such persons should deliver several lectures a week and be sent to other towns when necessary. And in general, capable propagandists should make tours of various towns and cities, but the mass of young beginners should be given mainly practical assignments, which are somewhat neglected in comparison with the students of conduct of circles, which is optimistically called propaganda. Oh, he's talking. I love that he talks such shit. He's just saying, like, this is not being done correctly and we need to change it. Of course, thorough training is also required for serious practical enterprises. Nevertheless, work in this sphere can more easily be found for beginners too. So the beginners are like the people who like spread out the information that has been given. They're not like the givers of, or the makers of the information at this point. Oh, it did. Now about the factory circles. These are particularly important to us. The main strength of the movement lies in the organization of the workers and at-large factories. For the class factories, or for the large factories and mills containing only the predominant part of the working class, as regards numbers, but even more as regards influence, development, and fighting capacity. Every factory must be our fortress. For that, every factory workers' organization should be as secret internally as ramified externally. It is in its outward relationships. It should stretch its feelers as far and in as many directions as any revolutionary organization. I emphasize that here too, A group of revolutionary workers should necessarily be the core, the leader, the master. We must break completely with the traditional type of purely labor or purely trade union social democratic organizations, including the factory circles. The factory group or the factory mill committee is distinguished from the other groups of where there should be a great number, should consist of a very small number of revolutionaries who take their instructions and receive their authority to carry on all social democratic work in the factory directly from the committee. Every member of the factory committee should regard himself as an agent of the committee, obliged to submit to all its orders and to observe the laws and customs and of the army in the field which he has joined, and from which in time of war he has no right to absent himself without official leave. Right, so this is like super serious. The composition of the factory committee is therefore a matter of very great importance, and one of the chief duties of the committee be to see to the proper organization of these subcommittees. This is how I picture it. The committee instructs certain of its members, plus let's say certain workers who for some reason or other have not been included in the committee, but who can be very useful by reason of their experience, knowledge of the people, intelligence, and connections to organize the factory subcommittees everywhere. So I like to point out too that it's saying that we need to have kind of like not everyone involved in everything to make sure that nobody that's another way that they like thwart the hindrance of the movement by delegating these tasks to many different people, right? Not just one person, so that if that one person gets arrested, the movement can continue. I'm wondering what would be the equivalent of a factory circle here today, since a lot of people no longer work in factories. You're right. So I would say that like our service industry, definitely needs to be one of those circles. Call centers. We still have Amazon work factories and car factories. I know car factory has like an actual term, but I don't remember what it is right now. Car factories, so we're going to call it. 100% service economy has largely replaced factory work. Yeah. So we definitely need to organize our service industry because, look at the gas station workers. Look at the, all the people who are essential workers. I feel like the essential workers are the people that need to have these circles. I think it's application to warehouses and restaurants, etc. Yeah, it's applicable. Yeah. With Mao, it was the peasants. Yeah, distribution centers. I think prisoners are important too and have a lot of revolutionary potential. Oh, fuck yeah. Absolutely right. That is an interesting thought of how to organize that. So decentralize responsibilities to the party. So it's saying that everyone is not going to know everything. Yeah, I agree. In the U.S., the lumpen proletariat will be an important part of the revolution because of material conditions. Yes. Where in our sectors the people have the worst wages and the worst material conditions is where our revolutionary potential will be found. Right? It's not going to be somebody who's like super comfy with their situation. As you can see by our many fucking what are they called? Opportunists, that's what they're called. They're called fucking opportunists. Right. Oh, and actually on Saturday, we will be having a wonderful lecture from Chairman Kooks with a special guest, Comrade Clevername, to talk about anti-intellectualism. That'll be lovely. And tomorrow, I actually am we're gonna do nukes tomorrow. We're gonna learn about, basically the way the United States tested nukes on our people. I'm sure y'all won't make anyone mad with that. Well, fuck them. I don't care. That's what this channel is for. This channel is for fighting anti-intellectualism and opportunists and revisionists. So get fucked, revisionists.
But they say I'm a tanky, oh I'm a tanky, yeah I'm a tanky, yeah I'm a tanky. We're riding that tank, mowing down the fucking snowflakes.
Dummies need to angered, yeah. It's not just our people, it was also tested in full. Really? That's right. Okay, what is that? So this group consults with the district representatives, arranges for a number of meetings, thoroughly checks candidate members of the factory subcommittees, subjects them to close cross-examinations where necessary, puts them to the test, right? And endeavoring personally to examine and verify the largest possible number of candidates at the subcommittee of the factories in question, and finally submits to a list of members for each factory circle to the committee for approval, or proposes that authority be given to some designated worker to set up, nominate, or select a complete subcommittee. In this way, the committee will also determine which of these agents is to maintain contact with, and how the contact is to be maintained as a general rule through the district representatives, but this rule may be supplemented and modified. In view of the importance of these factory subcommittees, we must see to it as far as possible that every subcommittee is in possession of an address to which they can direct the communication to the CO, and of a repository for its list of contacts in some safe place, i.e., that the information required for the immediate reestablishment of the subcommittee in the event of arrest is transmitted as regularly as fully as possible to get to the party center for safekeeping in a place where the Russian gendarmes, I think I've pronounced it right, the Russian police are unable to get at it. It is a matter of course that the transmission of addresses must be determined by the committee at its own discretion and on the basis of the facts at its disposal, and not on the basis of some non-existent right to a democratic allocation of these addresses, right? So we're not doing like the democratic thing here. I mean, they'll have a way to talk to the party that they agreed to join, right? But they don't get all the information because that is just a way to get all of yourselves fucked, right? You don't want people knowing everything. Finally, it is perhaps not superfluous to mention that it may sometimes be necessary or more convenient to confine ourselves to the appointment of one agent for the committee and an alternate for him, instead of a factory subcommittee consisting of several members. As soon as the factory subcommittee had been formed, it should proceed to organize a number of factory groups and circles with diverse tasks and varying degrees of secrecy and organizational forms, as, for instance, circles for delivering and distributing literature. This is one of the most important functions, which must be organized so as to provide us with real postal service of our own. So as to possess tried and tested methods, not only for distributing literature, but also for delivering it to the homes, and so as to provide a definite knowledge of all the workers' addresses and a way of reaching them. Circles for reading illegal literature, groups for tracking down spies, circles for giving special guidance to the trade union movement and economic struggles, circles of agitators and propagandists who know how to initiate and carry on long talks in an absolutely legal way on machinery inspectors, and so to be able to speak safely and publicly. To get to know people, to see how the land lies. The factory subcommittee should endeavor to embrace the whole factory and largest possible number of workers, with a network of all kinds of circles or agents. The success of the subcommittees should be measured by the abundance of such circles and their accessibility and touring propagandists, and above all, by the correctness of the regular work done in the distribution of literature and the collection of information and correspondence. Right? So it's saying, like, make only the people in charge and, like, give these jobs to people who fucking do it. Do the work. In America, at least, there is still a lot of blue-collar work, I agree, and it's less industrial now that things have been outsourced, but the same pour-le-bouge structure exists, correct? If you ever worked in a job where you didn't own your tools, computer, etc., you do not know the means of production and are thus a proletariat. Big true. The basis of proletarian peasant distinction seems to be the fact that rural smallholders have a certain self-sufficiency that proletarians lack. That remains true whether wage laborers are industrial or service. I'd go so far as to say that software and network used by Uber drivers is a means of production that they do not own, and they could not adequately communicate with clients otherwise. Correct. You're right. That the drivers are not. They're proletarians. They don't own the means of production. They own the car. Well, they don't probably own the car. The bank owns the car, most likely. But yeah. Without that stupid fucking app that's taking like the majority of the money, you really couldn't do the work for them. It looks different 200 years later, but the relationship remains. You're right. So the peasants had more self-sufficiency. I was thinking of peasants as lower tier. No. I don't think that there's like tiers like that. I feel like they're just people in different situations. Generally owned a small parcel of land, the farming tools needed to work it. They're at least independent of an employer, and yes, they are low tier compared to the owners of large farms who employ others to work the land for them. Would you say that the virtual work on the laptop or desk computer would count as the means of production? Well, in what way? Like, for me right now, do I own the means of production? Well, no, because I'm on Twitch, and Twitch takes like half of whatever we make, and without this stupid platform, I couldn't do what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Like, even though I own my computer, I still have to use something else that's not mine to make money. I mean, we're not doing this to make money, so. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, a tool for access. There's like a freaking hair on my lip. God damn it. Book reading leads to communism. Did this person block me? Oh. I was gonna be like, damn, blocked again by another person I don't know. It happens, it happens. Hey, hey Caboose, welcome in. Caboose, this big shot over here, just had an interview on Late Nights with Lennon with Esha Legal. That's exciting. I'm excited to listen to that. And he did a reading. So cool. I love that. We're just talking about like OPSEC kind of from Lennon's point of view. We're almost done actually. Okay, so the factory subcommittee should endeavor to embrace the whole factory. The largest possible number of workers with a network of all kinds of circles or agents. Yeah, I already read that. The success of the subcommittee's activities. I already fucking read that. Okay. To sum up, the general type of organization, in my opinion, should be as follows. The committee should be at the head of the entire local movement and all of the local social democratic activities. From it should stem the institutions and the branches subordinated to it, such as first, the network of executive agents embracing, as far as possible, the whole network of, or the whole working class mass, and organized in the form of a district group and factory subcommittees. In times of peace, this network will be engaged in distributing literature, leaflets, proclamations, and the secret communication from the committee in times of war will organize demonstrations and similar collective activities. Secondly, the committee will also branch out into circles and groups of all kinds, serving the whole movement, propagandists, transport, and all kinds of underground activities. All groups, circles, subcommittees should enjoy status of committee institutions or branches of the committee. Some of them will openly declare their wish to join your party, and if endorsed by the committee, will join the party and will assume definite functions and on the instruction of or in agreement with the committee. will undertake to obey the orders of the party organs, receive
Goodbye.
the same rights as all party members, and be regarded as immediate candidates for membership of the committee, etc. Others will not join the will not join the party and will have the status of circle formed by party members or associated with the one party or group or another. In all internal matters, members of these circles are of course on an equal footing and are all members of a committee. Sometimes when people work from home, the company lends them the work computer, but it's owned by the company. The worker doesn't own it themselves, but at the same time, they must use it to work, or to the work computer for everything involving work. But other times, the company doesn't lend the worker computer, so that's like a gray area whether or not it counts as the means of production. But I still think the relationship of exploitation remains. Yeah, no, it definitely is there. There's exploitation in that. Yeah. Yeah, if I have to work with my own computer from home for the same wages, that's taking a burden of ownership without any of the benefits. That's correct. I still think it's exploitation because the boss still takes the majority of your labor. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know who, yeah, it's absolutely still exploitation, for sure. Right? Like, right now, if you were to give me a sub, you sub to me for $5.99, I would get $2.50 of that, and Bezos would get $2.50 of that. Right? So he's just taking, like, I'm using all my shit. I'm talking with my own plans. You know, they don't tell me what to say. I just get on here and do it. And while I get to choose everything, I still don't get, like, everything that I make. So yeah, it's absolutely exploitative. I think the means of production logic also stems a lot from the bourgeoisie feeling like they are owed the profits instead of the labor because they own the building. Yeah, for real, they do. They're like, we're the job creators. How are you gonna even have this job if I don't make it for you? Like, how are you going to have this job? How are you going to have your business if the workers don't work? Right? So we're at a fucking stalemate, eh? What book is this? This is just a short essay, a letter to a comrade on our organizational tasks by Lenin. Yeah. Yeah, this is just like a shorter version, like a shorter thing, like talking about just kind of like OPSEC or whatever and how to organize this shit so that it functions the best. Yeah. Where am I at? The only exception will be that the right of the personal contact with the local committee, as well as the GC and the CO, will be reserved solely to the person or persons appointed for that purpose by the committee. In all other respects, this person will be on equal footing with the rest, who will have the right to present statements, but not in person, to the local committee and to the CC and the CO. It follows that the exception indicated will not at all be in infraction of the principle of equality, but merely a necessary concession to the absolute demands of secrecy. A member of a committee who fails to transmit the communication of his own group for the committee or the CC or CO will be guilty of a direct breach of party duty. Further, the degree of secrecy and the organizational form of the various circles will depend upon the nature of the functions accordingly The organization will be most varied, ranging from the strictest, narrowest, and most restricted type of organization to the freest, broadest, most loosely constituted open type. For instance, the strictest secrecy and military discipline must be maintained in the distributing groups. The propagandist group must also maintain secrecy, but be under far less military discipline. Workers groups for reading legal literature or for organizing discussions on trade unions' needs and demands a call for still less secrecy, and so on. The distributing groups should belong to the party and know a certain number of its members and functionaries. The group for studying labor conditions and drawing up trade union demands need not necessarily belong to the party at all. Groups of students, officers, and office employees engaged in self-education in conjunction with one or two party members should in some cases not even be aware that these belong to a party. But in one respect, we must absolutely demand the maximum degree of organization in all of these branch groups, namely that every party member belonging to such a group is formally responsible for the conduct of the work in this group and is obliged to take every measure in order that the composition of these groups, the whole mechanism of its work and the content of that should be known as fully as possible to the CC and the CO. That is necessary in order that the center may have a complete picture of the whole movement, that the selection for various party posts may be made from the widest possible circle of people, that all groups of similar nature throughout Russia may learn from one another through the medium of the center, and that the warning may be given in the event of the appearance of agent provocateurs or suspicious characters. In a word, that is absolutely and vitally necessary in all cases. Y'all made me into a nerd, you nerdy commies. Ha, you're a fucking nerd now too, bro. I heard some people took issue with your nerdy pro reading opinions. Oh my god. Pro theory, yeah. I quoted Immortal Technique from my memory in Esha's story tonight. That's so funny. Esha's show. That is so funny. Holy mechanism, right? I can't read right now, I'm sorry. So how is it to be done? By submitting regular reports to the committee, by transmitting the CO as much of the contents as possible, of the large number of reports as possible, by arranging the members of the CC and the local committee visits by the various circles, and finally by making it obligatory to hand over lists of contacts with these circles. So you have to hand over your contact list to the main organization so that in the event of your arrest, everything can continue. For safekeeping, we keep the addresses for safekeeping, and only certain members know where they are. Only when the reports are submitted and contacts transmitted will it be possible to say of a party member belonging to a given circle that he has done his duty. Only then will the party as a whole be in a position to learn from every circle that is carrying on practical work. Only then will arrests and dragnets lose their terror for us. For if contacts are maintained with the various circles, it will always be easier for a delegate of the GG to find substitutes immediately and to have work resumed. The arrests of a committee will then not destroy the whole machine, but only remove the leaders, who will always have candidates ready. And let it not be said that the transition of reports and contacts is impossible, because of the need to maintain secrecy. Once there is a desire to do so, it is always and will always be possible to hand over or forward reports and contacts so long as we have a committee. This brings us to a highly important principle of all the party's organization and all party activities. While the greatest possible centralization is necessary with regards to ideological and practical leadership of the movement and the revolutionary struggle of the proletariat, the greatest possible decentralization is necessary with regards to keeping the party center and therefore the party as a whole informed about the movement and with regards to the responsibility of the party. The leadership of the movement should be entrusted to the smallest possible number of the most homogeneous possible groups of professional revolutionaries with great practical experience. Participation in the movement should extend to the greatest possible number of the most diverse and heterogeneous groups of the most varied sections of the proletariat and other classes of the people. The party center should always have before it not only exact information regarding the activities of these groups, but also the fullest possible information regarding their composition. We must centralize the leadership of the movement, but we must also, for that very reason, since without information, centralization is impossible, as far as possible, decentralize the responsibility to the party on the part of its individual members, of every participant and its work, and of every circle belonging to or associated with the party. This decentralization is an essential prerequisite for or of revolutionary centralization and an essential corrective to it. Only when centralization has been carried through to the end and when we have a CO and CC will it be possible for every group, however small, to communicate with them. Not only communicate with them, but to do so regularly as a result of a system established by years of experience. Only then will the possibility of grievous consequences resulting from an accidentally unfortunate composition of a local committee be eliminated. Now that we're coming close to the actual unity of the party and to the creation of a real leading center, we must always remember that this center will be powerless if we do not at the same time introduce the maximum decentralization, both with regards to the responsibility to the center and with regards to keeping it informed with all the cogs and wheels of the party machine. This decentralization is nothing but a reverse side of the division of labor, which is generally recognized to be one of the most urgent practical needs of our movement. The official recognition of a given organization as the leading body, no setting up of a formal CG, will make our movement really united or create an enduring militant party. If the party center continues to be cut off from direct practical work by the local committees of the old type, by committees such as are, on the other hand, made up of regular workers or a regular jumble of persons, or a jumble of persons. That's funny. Occasional boog on my Twitter. How much betrayal can I take? No, you're not derailing. You're completely fine. You can talk all you want. Okay. Jumble of persons, of each of whom carries on all and every kind of work without devoting himself to some type of revolutionary work, without assuming responsibility for some special duty, without carrying through a piece of work to the end. Once it has been undertaken, thoroughly considered and prepared, wasting an enormous time and energy in radicalist noise making, while on the other hand there is a great mass of students and workers circles, half of which who are altogether unknown to the committee, while the other half are just as cumbersome, just as lacking in specialization, just as little given to acquiring the experience of professional revolutionaries, or to begin from the very experience of others. Just as taken up with endless conferences about everything, with elections and with drafting rules, and as the committee itself. Aw, hey. Thanks, Caboose. Thank you. That's super sweet. Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free sub. So why not use it here? Thanks. Fuck her man. Is that the one you use for my channel? Thank you, Funwall. Funwall, you're so supportive. Thank you. Yeah, I haven't really been doing mine lately because of like, been doing like school and this, and I've just been fucking around on mine, doing GTA, which that's fun. It's fun for me. For the center to be able to work properly, the local committee must reorganize themselves. They must become specialized and more business-like organizations, achieving the real perfection in one or another practical sphere. For the center not only to advise, persuade, and argue has been the case hitherto, but really conduct the orchestra. It is necessary to know exactly who is in which or is playing which fiddle, where and how. Where and how instructions have been or is being received in playing each instrument, who is playing out of tune when the music begins to jar on the ear, where and why, and who should be transferred and how and where to, so that the discord may be remedied, etc. At the present time, this must be said openly. We either know nothing about the real internal work of the committee, except from its proclamations and general correspondence, or we know about it from friends or good acquaintances. But it is ridiculous to think that a huge party, which is capable of leading the Russian working class movement, and which is preparing a general onslaught. Well, you have a schedule now, so this one's for scheduled theory, and your other one is for games now. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Is Hayes here? Oh, no, you're just talking about Hayes. I like how Hayes doesn't come to my stream. Fuck you, Hayes. Where am I at? For sure, Ahab. Fuck you, Hayes. I'm just kidding. Hayes, you can have a 1 day off where you don't think about the stream. Then you're back to work, buddy. Oh. I have begun with an analysis of the draft rules in order to bring out the drift of my proposal more clearly, and as a result, it will, I hope, have become more clear to the reader that in fact it would perhaps be possible to get along without rules, substituting them for regular reports about each circle and every aspect of the work. What can one put in the rules? The committee guides the work of everyone. This is clear. This is as clear as it is. The committee elects an executive group. This is not always necessary, but when it is necessary, it is not a matter of rules, but of informing the center of the composition of the group and of the candidate members to it. The committee distributes the various fields of work among its members, charging every member to make regular reports to the committee and to keep the GO and the CC informed of the progress of the work. Here, too, it is important to inform the center of whatever assignments have been made, then to include the rules as a regulation which more frequently than not will go by the board because of the scarcity of our forces. The committee must specify exactly who its members are. New members are added to the committee by co-option. The committee appoints the district groups, factory subcommittees, and central groups. If you wish to enumerate them, you will never be done, but there is no point approximately in enumerating them in the rules. It is sufficient to inform the center about their organization. The district groups and subcommittees organize the following circles. It would be all the less useful to draw up such a rules as at present, since we have practically no general party experience, and in many places none whatever, with regard to activities of the various groups and subgroups of this sort. And in any order to acquire such experience, what is needed is not rules, but organization of party information, if I may put it this way. Each of our local organizations now spends at least a few evenings on discussing rules. If instead each member would devote this time to making detailed and well-prepared reports to the entire party on his particular function, the world would gain 100-fold. So it's saying, please don't work on rules, just work on sending reports back to the central committee so that they know what you're doing. I love the son of Preacher Man. Don't say that during your streams because they're too painful. Oh my god. Fuck Hayes, all the homies hate Hayes. I only love Preacher Man. Oh my god. Preacher Man. Oh god. Silly Hayes. Okay. And it is not merely because revolutionary work does not always lend itself to definite organizational form that rules are useless. No, definite organizational form is necessary, and we must endeavor to give such form to all work as far as possible. This is permissible to a much greater extent than is generally thought, and achievable not through rules but solely and exclusively. We must keep on reiterating this through transmitting exact information to the party center. It is only then that we shall have real organizational form connected with real responsibility and inter-party publicity. For who of us, Jesus Christ. Where the fuck was I? Fucking was I? For who of us does not know that serious conflict and differences of opinion among us are actually decided not by a vote in accordance with the rules, but by the struggle and threat to resign? During the last 3 or 4 years, the party life years of the party life, the history of, or live the most, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? The history of most of our committee has been replete with such internal strife. It is a great pity that this strife has not assumed definite form. It would have then been much more instructive for the party and would have been would have contributed more to the experience of our successors, but no rules can create such useful and essential definiteness of organizational form. This can be done solely through the inter-party publicity. Under the autocracy, we can have no other means or weapon of inter-party publicity than keeping the party center regularly informed of party events. And only after we have learned to apply this inter-party publicity on a wide scale shall we actually be able to amass experience in the functioning of the various organizations. Only on the basis of such extensive experience over the period of many years shall we be able to draw up the rules that will not be mere paper rules. That's it. Thanks for following Gorillas just in time. Yeah, Hayes was one of your, yeah. Yep. I think that's cool. Oh, this motherfucker's on 3% battery life. Ah! Reading out loud off the screen is tiring. Uh-oh, you're banned in no comment chick stuff? Why are you banned in no comment chick? So yeah, anyways, that's our bullshit for tonight. You did it. You learned how Lenin would prefer us organize. Thanks, Ghost Scrubs. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. These ones aren't as like fun because it's just like reading, you know, but like if you like listening to somebody bullshit in the middle of reading theory, yeah, then this is for you. I don't know. Just another way for theory to be accessible, you know? I really like what Socialism for All does. Let me see. Because he just fucking reads. I'm gonna put this in the... That's the person I use for my stuff when I don't feel like reading. But sometimes I also like to be on Twitch too because I enjoy the conversation with the streamer. Sometimes I'm chatty. Okay, let's see who's on. So I take it that the conclusion of the letter is basically about centralization in terms of ideology and information and decentralization in terms of responsibility for each party member. There you go. You fucking perfectly summed it up. Yeah. So everything like is coming from the center core and going out, but not everything is able to go back in, you know? And yeah, like we don't need everybody knowing everything so that in the event of an arrest, they can't give up too much. And also, other people need to have, like, if there is a leader, there needs to be, like, somebody being trained to be the leader. So that if this shit happens, if something bad happens, then it can, like, arrest or whatever. That we can change it. There's really nobody on. Sarah's the leader. That's fair. Sarah does know what's best. Oh, you know what? We could go to Kay Swiftly. I like Kay Swiftly. Okay. Thank you all for being here with me. Susan Sarandon is the leader of the Communist Party. Blech. Blech. Y'all are gonna make me straight up hurl. Thank you all for being here so much. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about nukes. Nukes!
Police! Hold it right there! Come on! Don't shoot! I surrender. We're not gonna shoot you! We want to re-educate you! You see, son? You're just the product of an alienated economic class, lashing out because you feel powerless and unloved. You've been disenfranchised by the bourgeois power structure. That's right. I stole a car. I'm a thief. Well, son, if you think about it, all property is theft.